So it looks like old man Joe Biden has finally come full circle and he says he supports an immediate ceasefire in Gaza, aka I'm desperate for votes. I remember uniformly the government said anyone who supported a ceasefire in Gaza is morally reprehensible. I guess Joe Biden is now morally reprehensible. Now let's watch this morally reprehensible person plead to college graduates to vote for him out of desperation.
I want to say this very clearly. I support peaceful nonviolent protest.
Sure.
Your voices should be heard.
Sure.
I promise you I hear them. What's happening in Gaza and Israel is heartbreaking. Hamas's vicious attack on Israel, killing innocent lives and holding people hostage. I was there 9 days after. Sent pictures of tying a mother and a daughter in a rope, pouring kerosene on them, burning them, and watching as they died. Innocent Palestinians caught in the middle of all this. Men, women, and children killed or displaced in desperate need of water, food, and medicine. So I've called for an immediate ceasefire. An immediate ceasefire to stop the fighting. Bring the hostages home.
This man is a lot more powerful than he's letting on. He could say to Israel, hey, you're taking the hostage deal between you and Hamas that was negotiated between Egypt and Qatar. Period. If you don't take it, we're not giving you any more weapons. That would change the calculation instantly. Ronald Reagan called the Prime Minister of Israel when they were bombing Lebanon at the time, and he even called it a Holocaust, and he said, you guys need to stop. Within 20 minutes, they stopped. So for him to throw his hands up and be like, hey, I'm calling for an immediate ceasefire, this is just empty words, Biden. I'm sorry. Because you have a lot more power over this situation than you're exerting.
I've been working on a deal as we speak, working around the clock to lead an international effort to get more aid into Gaza, rebuild Gaza. I'm also working around the clock for more than just one ceasefire. Working to bring the region together, working to build a lasting, durable peace. Because the question is, and you see what's going on in Israel today, what after? What after Hamas? What happens then? What happens in Gaza? What rights do the Palestinian people have? I'm working to make sure we finally get a two-state solution, the only solution.
I'll clap for that.
Peace, security, and dignity.
Empty words, but I'll clap for it.
This is one of the hardest, most complicated problems in the world. There's nothing easy about it. I know it angers and frustrates many of you, including my family. But most of all, I know it breaks your heart. It breaks mine as well. Leadership is about fighting through the most intractable problems. It's about challenging anger, frustration, and heartbreak to find a solution. It's about doing what you believe is right, even when it's hard and lonely.
Nice words, platitudes, saying you want a two-state solution even though you continue to block it at the UN Security Council. I want action, not rhetoric.
It's the magic of America. But let's be clear. What happens to you and your family when old ghosts in new garments seize power? Extremists come for the freedoms you thought belonged to you and everyone. Today in Georgia, they won't allow water to be available to you while you wait in line to vote in an election. What in the hell is that all about? Insurrectionists who storm the Capitol with Confederate flags are called patriots by some. Not in my house. Black veterans protecting the Capitol were called another word, as you'll recall. They also say out loud, these other groups, immigrants poison the blood of our country, like the Grand Wizard and fascists said in the past. But you know and I know, we all bleed the same color.
Simply attacking Donald Trump, calling him a fascist, calling him an authoritarian. This campaign messaging is not going to work. The American people just don't buy it. And I agree, that's the worst thing Trump did is not accept his loss in the 2020 election. But guess what? We've moved past that. You made things so bad right now that people are actually looking at Trump being like, yeah, I guess we'll go with Trump because he's better than your ass. Whether or not that's true, it's just the unfortunate situation we're in. You shut down a robust primary where we could have had alternate choices. Dean Phillips, Marianne Williamson. Marianne Williamson's way too liberal for me. And I actually really like Dean Phillips, but you squashed all dissent. And we're going to see how you do on a debate stage with Donald Trump. You proved during the Democratic primary process you have no interest in democracy. I'm not going to claim that the Republicans somehow like democracy, but just admit it, you both just want to be in charge. And these charades we go through every 4 years is just an inconvenience.